Welcome back to the longest Pikmin tier list. Today we have part 6 of the series, which will be covering challenge mode stuff and etc. This will probably have multiple parts, but anyways, let's begin. I kind of just put Pikmin 1 challenge mode stuff in here just for funsies. So I'm going to just rank them as is. Okay, next we got Pikmin 2 challenge mode. We got Explorer's Cave here. This one isn't very difficult, but it's kind of a good beginner cave, so I'd say it's a high C tier. The ducks here are just for kind of just like funsies. Just because, just to have something there. Next we got novice training. Just again, this one's kind of just like there. It's not really easy. You can't really kill your Pikmin very easily, so I guess I'll just put it in C tier as well. The Lost Toy Box is a yellow Pikmin stage, and then again is the first row of challenge mode stages, so it isn't that hard. So I'd say it's probably a C tier. Creator's Garden. Again, this one's kind of the first row, so it isn't that hard. The only really thing you gotta be worried about is the Wollywogs, but other than that, it isn't that hard. So I'd say it's a very low B tier. Green Hole is actually pretty difficult if you think about it, because Bulbmen are kind of a tough enemy to deal with without bitter sprays. And you only really get one bitter spray and one ultra spicy spray. So I'd say this one's probably an A tier. Next we got Hot House. And honestly, this one's pretty easy. The only really thing you have to be worried about is the electricity, and you'll be good. Moving things down a little bit to keep things like spaced out. I'd say this one's probably a low C tier. We got Brawny Abyss with 50 blues. The only really thing you gotta be worried about here is well, there's actually a couple things you gotta be worried about here. So I'd say it's probably a high B tier. Next we got, I called it Red Rum here, but it's Red Chasm. This one's just a bunch of Bulborbs with a bunch of sprays, which you have the necessary sprays needed to deal with them, so I'd say this one's probably a low B tier. I'm kind of ranking them just basically how I like them and basically how difficult they are. Trampled Garden, you can't actually lose any Pikmin here. Funnily enough. Wait. Can you lose Pikmin here? I don't think you can lose Pikmin on this one. I'm pretty sure. So I say, but it is pretty annoying because of the Mamudas, so I'd say it's probably a low D tier. Twilight Garden's basically just a Beady Longlegs and a couple of sheer grubs. And then again, you have 50 yellow Pikmin to deal with. But you can still lose Pikmin, so I'd say it's probably about a B tier. Here we got Cryptic Cavern. Oh, I don't like this one because you only get 10 Pikmin and it's 5 floors and there's some tough enemies. So I'd say it's probably A tier. I'd probably say it's A tier. I can't really spend much time here because I need to save as much space on my tablet as possible, so I kind of have to speed through this without giving it any thought. I mean, giving it some thought, but not much. We have Concrete Maze. I don't have to tell you why this one should be an F tier. Collector's Room. This one's pretty difficult. I hate this one, and basically, this one's probably the hardest one, actually. Because you don't get enough sprays, really. And you get 50 white Pikmin. So I'd say, all in all, it's probably a low A tier. I'm kind of mostly ranking it on how difficult they are, versus how... I'm mostly ranking it how difficult they are, instead of how much I just don't like them, or like them. Dweeble's Dugout. I called this one Dweeble's Dugout, but it's actually called Dweeble's Nest. You get 25 of each, Pikmin, really, for this one. Like red, yellow, blue, and white. And I don't think this one's pretty difficult. It's just basically like a room with a lot of Dweebles and stuff. So I don't think it's that difficult. Although, be careful of the electric Dweebles, though. So I'd say this one's probably a low B tier. We got Cavernous Abyss. This one's basically just a Raging Longlegs with some annoying spiders put in. So I'd say this one's probably... I'd say probably a low... Probably a C tier. Next we got Snack Pit. This one's basically the bread bug level. There always has to be at least one bread bug level. I'm not a big major fan of bread bugs. I kind of just, they kind of just exist, you know. So I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna put it B tier. I don't kind of know where to put this one. We got 3 color training. This one's a Gatling Groink with some electric stuff put in and some poison geysers. This one's... I mean, you get a bitter spray for the Gatling Groink, so it isn't that hard. So I'd say it's probably a B tier. We got Hazard Training. This one's just red and blue. And kind of just whip swap, you know. So I'd say this one's probably a low B tier. We got Cave of Snarls. This one isn't very challenging, so I'd say it's probably a C tier. The Giant's Bath, you don't get any bitter sprays for this one, but you don't really need them, to be honest. The only really thing here is just like some water stuff, and there's also some bumbling snitch bugs in the mix, which are kind of annoying. So I'd say it's probably high B tier or something. Rumbling Grotto. This one has a pileated snagrid at the end. So just because of that, I'm probably going to put it at a high A tier. Subterranean Lair. is 3 bull bears. I shouldn't have to give it much thought. Don't ask why. Abduction den's just kind of like a place for flying things, and it's kind of annoying. The only really threat's the crooning dirigibugs, but other than that, it isn't really much of a challenge. So I'd say it's probably a low B tier. We've got secret testing range. This one's probably a low S tier, because it's honestly kind of difficult. The breeding grounds is just kind of like a place where you just get more Pikmin, and there's some enemies thrown into the mix. So I'd say it's probably a low B tier. I don't have to give this one much thought, because it isn't so difficult, it's just annoying. The bully den is the classic level with the 2 water wraiths. So I kind of feel like I have to give it a S tier, or people would just get angry at me. We got the sniper room. This one's just all those other ones with a Gatling Groink on a tower. And some other difficult enemies thrown into the mix. So I think it's at A tier. The Emperor's Realm's just basically a shorter Bulblex Kingdom. But I feel like I have to put it at S tier, or people will be angry at me. Okay, this is the tier list. We're going to make another part of this tier list, but this is the tier list for now.